Now on CBC Vancouver News.
It's a pretty frightening experience.
Bystanders race to help after a car crashes into a river in Kamloops. The driver is still missing. Plus,
this country cannot work if separatist premiers, others get all of the attention of the federal government.
BC's premier takes aim at Ottawa and Alberta's new deal on carbon pricing and a possible new pipeline to the West Coast ahead of a meeting with the Prime Minister. And
smart travelers will be looking for a deal.
the FIFA Men's World Cup inches closer to Vancouver, but hotel room bookings are down ahead of kickoff.
I don't think it's going to be the boon.
This is CBC Vancouver News.
Hello, I'm Dan Burritt. Thanks for joining us. A 24-year-old woman in Kamloops is believed to have drowned after her car went into the North Thompson River Sunday night. The CBC's Shelley Joyce has more from several people who rushed into that water to help.
The vehicle had been driving erratically. Now, I would have said it could have come out of this back alley.
Natasha Winston lives right across the road from where a car went into the North Thompson River on Sunday evening. Details are still not clear on what happened, but the Kamloops RCMP and Kamloops Search and Rescue say they have suspended a search for a 24-year-old woman, the driver of the car, until the river is safer to search. The passenger, a 21-year-old woman, and one of the bystanders who helped to rescue her were taken to hospital. Schubert Drive is a quiet stretch of road that runs along the North Thompson River in Kamloops. Water levels are running high and moving fast, but that didn't prevent several people from jumping in despite the hazardous conditions.
My husband disappeared for 20 minutes and I didn't know where he'd gone. When he comes back, he tells me he was looking out the kitchen window and saw people running and screaming down the road, but he also saw a car floating in the river with a woman in it.
Natasha Winston's 72-year-old husband, Pierre, grabbed a piece of wood to hold out as a life preserver and clambered down the steep embankment to the river.
There was a man holding on to the car and he smashed the windshield, and the woman in the car wasn't moving and he screamed at her to get out. So she came out through the broken windshield.
Cameron Granger was also driving past at the time of the accident. He stepped in the nick of time.
I was just doing what I would want somebody else to do for me. I pretty well slid in and up to my knees in the water and then just started walking and then hiking through the water till I was swimming. It was a pretty frightening experience, I'm sure, for both of us. For a moment there, I don't think either of us were really sure if we were going to make it out of there.
He pulled the 21-year-old passenger out of the freezing water, and they were both taken to Royal Inland Hospital and later released. Winston grows flowers, and she started a memorial marking the spot where the car drove into the river.
A lot of people came out praying.
Shelley Joyce, CBC News, Kamloops.
Premier David Eby will meet with Prime Minister Mark Carney here in Vancouver on Wednesday. As Katie DeRosa reports, Eby is slamming Ottawa for inking a special deal with Alberta he claims is aimed at quelling the separatist movement in that province.
The message to the Prime Minister is simple. This country cannot work if separatist premiers, others get all of the attention of the federal government.
David Eby says he'll ask the Prime Minister why other provinces, including BC, were left out of the deal for a lower industrial carbon price. The deal inked between Alberta and Ottawa on Friday has left Alberta Premier Danielle Smith confident it will pave the way for another oil pipeline to BC's coast. Eby, however, says it's a strategy aimed at placating the separatist movement in Alberta, while provinces that stand behind Canada are left out of the discussion. The leader of the official opposition says BC is on the sidelines, and that's Eby's fault.
We have a leader of this province that's sitting at the kids' table while the grown-ups make decisions. My question to the Premier is get to the table, do the work of the province, support this project, and stop impeding it.
Eby dodged questions about whether the province would support a pipeline that runs south, mirroring the Trans Mountain pipeline and ending in the Burrard Inlet. He reiterated that the government is staunchly opposed to lifting the tanker ban off BC's north coast, which would be required for a pipeline from Alberta to Prince Rupert. The day before Carney's carbon pricing announcement, the federal energy minister was in BC with David Eby for an announcement about LNG Canada. One political scientist suspects that's no accident.
I wonder whether we are seeing negotiations take place between the provincial government and the federal government over BC at least accepting a possible South Coast pipeline route in exchange for stronger federal support, including financial support for the LNG Canada Phase 2 project.
The Premier denies that, but says he will make the case to the Prime Minister that BC's resource projects, including LNG and mining, deserve as much attention as a proposed Alberta pipeline. Katie DeRosa, CBC News, Victoria.
We are less than a month from kickoff to the FIFA Men's World Cup here in Vancouver, and tourism experts are wondering if it will be the economic boon some have touted. As Amelia John reports, hotel bookings are down for June.
Will it be a tourism boom or bust? That's what some business owners are now asking themselves a month out from the FIFA Men's World Cup in Vancouver.
In some cases, we're still waiting, I think, for people to understand, where they want to go, which city they want to pick.
Vancouver and Toronto are Canada's two host cities. Destination Vancouver says hotel bookings for June are down 20% from the same time last year. One reason? Prices.
Last time I looked, the increase right now is looking at 113% increase in pricing from this time last year.
With some hotel rooms going for more than $500 a night, visitors may be waiting for prices to drop or looking for cheaper accommodation outside the city.
Smart travelers will be looking for a deal, and here south of the Fraser, I think that's what we can offer, a little bit more affordability.
Another factor, crowds. Not everyone visiting Vancouver this summer will be here for soccer.
We will see more visitors coming to the province. We're also going to be crowding out some, though. I think there's the people who are coming in, but there's also conferences that aren't happening.
The Men's World Cup was billed by the city and province as big business. But with the final hosting costs still unknown, some are questioning the economic impact.
I don't think it's going to be the boon. It's not going to be the 30 to 40 Super Bowls that maybe we were talking about a year or two ago.
You're going to have incremental tourism gains, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a good thing. But, if this was happening in November, it would be a lot better for Vancouver.
The province says an update on costs, including security, revenues, and economic benefits, is expected by the end of May. The first game at BC Place is set for June 13th. Amelia John, CBC News, Vancouver.
A 22-year-old man is facing more than a dozen extortion-related counts after a trio of violent incidents last year. Police say Gursevak Singh is charged with arson, extortion, and numerous weapons counts.
Organized crime unit reached out based on information that was disseminated by Abbotsford, and through those discussions and various forensic investigative avenues, they were able to determine that this individual was responsible for all three incidents.
Police say the case is linked to gunfire at a Surrey business on December 14th. Two vehicles torched outside another Surrey business the next day, and then a shooting in Abbotsford on December 17th. A Vancouver multimillionaire has been jailed after repeatedly ignoring a BC Supreme Court order to come clean to a creditor about her finances. A frustrated judge ordered sheriffs to take 49-year-old Helen Chanson into custody for civil contempt of court on Friday. Jason Proctor is here with more. Jason, who is Helen Chanson and why was she hauled away?
Yeah, so interestingly, Dan, she is a developer. She's sole shareholder of this company called Landmark Premier Properties that owns a number of properties worth hundreds of millions of dollars around the Lower Mainland. And what this comes down to, though, is this loan that was made to a pair of companies back in 2018. She and another man guaranteed that loan. This was 2018. And ultimately, the creditors, when the companies didn't pay, they came after the people that guaranteed the loan, her and this other guy. They got an order against her for about $5.6 million. She came to an agreement to pay, but only paid about half the amount that she was supposed to pay because she felt apparently that the other guy should pay. But ever since then, they've been trying to get the rest of this money. They've accused her of sort of hiding funds, of not coming full, disclosure about everything that she owns and the source of her money and of her luxury cars and of a variety of other things, her clothes. And so it's worked its way through this process to where a judge in November gave her a suspended jail sentence, 40 days for civil contempt of court, giving her until, actually February to come clean. When she didn't do that, she was brought to court for this proceeding that I went to see on Friday.
And now you've covered many court cases. We know what is this one been like? Why is it different?
Well, it's fascinating because at the end of the day, this is not a criminal act. This is somebody who was sent to jail for 40 days simply because they would not comply with an order. And anybody who's tried to, get money out of somebody who owes them money through the courts will, be able to empathize with this. And this is ultimately what the judge said, that court orders have to mean something. And that's what this came down to. She didn't, comply with the order that she put out. And ultimately she said, take her, or the judge said, take her away. The judges, or the sheriffs took her away. They put her hands behind her back, put her in handcuffs, a woman worth millions of dollars, took her off to jail.
Fascinating stuff. Jason Proctor, we know you'll stay on it. Thanks very much. If you live in an apartment, chances are you may not be diverting as much waste as your neighbors who live in single-family homes. Lauren Vanderdeen explains why and how the region is hoping to change that.
When it comes to recycling, not every resident of Metro Vancouver is doing their part equally.
According to our latest data, Metro Vancouverites are doing an excellent job of recycling, but single-family dwellers are outperforming apartments. So apartments are throwing away about 1.3 times more waste than those in single-family homes.
What's holding apartment dwellers back? Belinda Lee is an advocate for Zero Waste BC. She says recycling simply isn't as easy for those living in multi-family buildings.
Then you need to walk down the hall, go down the elevator into a dungy, room in the basement. You have to go through probably a few doors and try to not spill any of your bins, and then finally get to a room and then have to sort everything out.
According to Metro Vancouver, residents in single-family homes are twice as likely to recycle and compost over their apartment-dwelling neighbors. It's something the regional district wants to change. Karen Story is a senior engineer with Metro Vancouver. She says a lot of compost is ending up in the regular garbages of apartment buildings, and that causes issues with where it ends up.
When you put your organics in the green bin instead of the garbage, then it doesn't go to a landfill where it creates methane. So it's really important to divert your organics so that you can reduce climate emissions.
She says some cities have green ambassador programs that encourage residents to champion recycling in their building. Some condos partner with nonprofits to do junk disposal. But Lee says there's a higher barrier for apartment dwellers to recycle and thinks it's also on companies to create products that can be responsibly recycled.
We're exceeding, the footprint of what we can live in sustainably. So there's everything from the climate impacts of having too much waste, all the way to depleting crucial resources.
Metro Vancouver urges those in apartments to do their part and say the use of green bins is one of its biggest priorities. The regional district's solid waste management plan will be posted for public comment in the coming weeks. Lauren Vanderdeen, CBC News, Vancouver.
Darius Madava here with the first look at the weather and the fire board.
That's right. These are all the active fires across BC. There are about 26 of them right now. There have been 4 started in the last 24 hours and 8 extinguished. So, moving in the right direction. But we have some lightning making its way down parts of the southeast of the province, but really just confined to this corner, it seems, right now. We'll be keeping an eye on that. But I also wanted to move over to the island where we just had a new fire start. This was just updated at around 6:06 p.m. Pacific time, and a fire burning just east of Alberni. We'll be keeping an eye on this situation right now, listed at 0.1 hectares, but we'll be keeping an eye on that situation as it develops. Beyond that, Dan, we'll have more for you later in the show.
Sounds good. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
They've been dazzling air show crowds for decades, but the snowbirds will soon be grounded. What's next for Canada's longtime aerial team? After this.
I'm Stephen Quinn, and I love living here in Vancouver, BC. It's a city with world-renowned beauty, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows. In our new daily podcast, This is Vancouver, we're exploring the diverse range of issues and stories in the city, the good, the bad, and everything in between, as told by the people who live it every day. Don't miss This is Vancouver, available wherever you get your podcasts, and I'll talk to you soon.
TransLink is proposing to remove about a dozen bus stops along Hastings Street. Michelle Morton explains why some are worried.
Tanya Hamilton has an ankle injury and relies on taking the bus, including this stop at Hastings and Princess. But that could change if TransLink's proposal to remove several bus stops along a stretch of Hastings Street in the downtown east side gets the green light.
I come down here every day, sometimes 3 times a day. I go to my doctor's office just over here.
TransLink says Hastings Street is one of the region's busiest corridors, and for riders, one of the most delayed. To help speed up service along the street, they're proposing to remove 13 bus stops, with more than half of those located east of Main Street, between Gore and Campbell Avenue, while adding new rapid bus stops between Main and Commercial, as well as 3 new stops between Main and Glen. A TransLink spokesperson was not available for comment, but the Transit Authority says where a stop is removed, another one would typically be available within one block. It says the changes would make bus trips quicker, safer, and more timely. However, the proposed changes are triggering accessibility concerns.
So that, really has a direct impact on those we serve.
He says stability matters.
Particularly when, they may not be able to predict where their next meal will come or where they're going to find shelter for the night.
This is going to make a big difference to others who are using walkers and, like the disabled.
It's right in front of Sheeway, so that would make it would affect a lot of the mothers there with strollers and that.
The Hastings Crossing Business Improvement Association told CBC they haven't heard any complaints over the proposal. TransLink says it's seeking public feedback on this proposal until May 24th, and it's that input that will shape the final plan. Michelle Morton, CBC News, Vancouver.
They have been a staple of air shows and public events across Canada for decades. But Canada's current snowbirds are going to be grounded permanently. As Julia Wong explains, though, plans are in place for new planes for that team.
From coast to coast to coast, the snowbirds have thrilled Canadians with heart-stopping aerobatic tricks and daredevil maneuvers. But that will soon be coming to an end. Tuesday, the federal government announced after this season, the jets will be permanently grounded.
We have every assurance that the fleet is well positioned to serve for another season, and that at that point, the decision was made on the recommendation of the Air Force that we would transition to a new fleet.
The snowbirds are using the same Tudor jets first introduced in the 1960s. Millions have been spent to try to keep them flying for a few more years, but Ottawa now says it's time to replace them.
Some of the airframe, engine, and escape system programs, feasibility studies were done, and there are some engineering challenges because of the age of the aircraft that have changed that situation, and this is why it will be retiring in 2027 instead of 2030.
That news hard to hear for those who have piloted the planes.
It's emotional. And we owe so much to this team. So much. And they represented our country so well.
And worries over what the interruption will mean for the team behind the famous program.
You cannot put this operational expertise on a shelf and then take it back in 2 or 3 years.
But for this military historian, replacing the fleet now makes sense.
The fear that we could have is that in a few years they say, oh, by the way, we changed our mind, we don't have the money, and there will be no controversy. People will have forgotten because the snowbirds won't have been flying for 3 or 4 years, and they'll just vanish. That's the fear that we should be having, and we have to watch the government.
The new planes are expected to be operational by the early 2030s, but there are no firm timelines. The snowbirds' final season in the Tudor jets kicks off next week. Julia Wong, CBC News, Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan.
Smooth sailing for the sea bus going across Burrard Inlet earlier in the day. Darius will have your BC-wide weather forecast coming up. Stick around. If you've been feeling a lot of pain in your pocketbook lately, new numbers are out that show where that feeling is coming from. StatsCan has released the latest inflation numbers, and they confirm the cost of living is up, way up. As Nisha Patel reports, you can probably guess why.
Sky-high prices at the pump are squeezing Canadians.
I think they're crazy.
Can't really control it, but yeah, it's unfortunate for sure.
Money that I could be putting towards groceries and stuff is going towards gas now.
Despite the federal government dropping the fuel excise tax, gas prices jumped 28.6% last month from the same time a year ago. Prices soared as the conflict in the Middle East dragged on. That pushed up the overall inflation rate to 2.8% in April, the highest level in nearly 2 years.
We're still expecting another couple months of real pressure here. I do think inflation's probably going to poke its head above 3% in the next couple months.
Still, food and rent inflation is actually cooling, and analysts say energy inflation hasn't spread to other parts of the economy so far.
Whether it's fertilizer prices or the packaging distribution, moving food around, takes a lot of energy to grow food. There still could be a bit of a sting in the tail here for broader inflation. So I don't think anybody's relaxing yet.
While the Bank of Canada says it plans to look past a short-term spike, rising inflation remains a serious concern.
If energy prices go higher, and particularly if they stay higher for longer, there could well be a need to increase the policy rate to get inflation back to 2%.
The national average gas price is up to $1.88 a litre, and that's hitting some hard.
It has gone literally up, especially I'm doing Uber and other ride-sharing apps. My full tank is almost $50. Earlier it was just $37. I got it full tank, but now it's like $55 to $60.
Experts say if oil prices stay above $100 a barrel into June, higher prices could spread and spark broader inflation across the economy. Nisha Patel, CBC News, Toronto.
Prime Minister Mark Carney announced construction has started at a new graphite mine in Quebec, expected to be North America's biggest of its kind. It was selected as one of Ottawa's major nation-building projects last fall. Carney says it's set to pump nearly $2 billion into the economy. The material will go to help build electric vehicle batteries and defense technologies. He says the project is being fast-tracked to get resources to market at what is called an unprecedented pace.
We've secured more than 20 economic and security partnerships across 5 continents in the past year. We've referred 22 projects, including Nouveau Monde Graphique, to our major projects office because it is time to build.
We're learning more tonight about the 3 people killed in a shooting at a California mosque. Officials say the victims died heroes. Lisa Shing now with how the men delayed and distracted the shooters, likely saving countless lives.
A growing memorial outside San Diego's largest mosque where 3 people were shot dead Monday. A young student trapped inside when it began, still trying to process what happened.
I felt a bit scared. My legs were shaking in my hands. And my head was hurting me a lot. I felt like a rock.
Police responded to a report of an active shooter at the mosque, which also houses a school. Investigators say the 3 men killed near the entrance are heroes. One of them, Amin Abdullah, a security guard and father of 8.
His actions, without a doubt, delayed, distracted, and ultimately deterred.
Police say he engaged in a gunfight with the 17 and 18-year-old suspects and warned people inside.
I truly know in my heart from knowing that man that he was sacrificing his life and took that bullet knowing that I'd rather take it than the kids.
The 2 other men, community elder Mansour Kaziha and Nader Awad, who called 911, caught the attention of the shooters before they were targeted.
They were hiding in the parking lot next to the kitchen. They tried to do something to protect.
Several blocks away, police found a white SUV. Inside, 2 teenagers believed to be the shooters, dead. Investigators say one of their mothers called police that morning, warning her son was suicidal, dressed in camo, and her vehicle was gone. They searched several properties and seized 30 firearms, ammunition, and a crossbow. Police say the shooters met and were radicalized online.
I can confirm there has been a manifesto that's been recovered.
They didn't discriminate on who they hated. It covered a wide aspect of races and religions.
Experts say anti-Muslim hate online has increased.
Online rhetoric results in offline violence, and I just want to emphasize that they're directly correlated. It's really scary.
Officials are investigating the shooting as a hate crime and are calling the city to come together to support the victims' families and the Muslim community. Lisa Sheng, CBC News, Toronto.
The federal government is advising Canadians not to travel to areas of the Democratic Republic of Congo, where a rare type of Ebola is spreading. More than 130 people have already died, and there are more than 500 suspected cases in the DRC alone. All that after the World Health Organization declared this Ebola outbreak a public health emergency of global concern. Crystal Gumansing has more.
The Director General of the World Health Organization expressed deep concern about the scale and speed at which the rare strain of Ebola is spreading. Meanwhile, the WHO's representative in the Democratic Republic of Congo, Dr. Ann Ancia, says the outbreak could continue for months.
Now we have diagnosed and we really need to go fast to really try to stop the spread of the disease further. But we really don't know, as I said, we don't understand yet the extent of the spread of the disease.
The Democratic Republic of Congo and Uganda have documented confirmed and suspected cases as well as deaths. Neighboring Rwanda shut some of its border crossings with DR Congo and has instituted screening procedures at others to try to control the spread of the virus. There are many people who cross regularly, with individuals working and studying on both sides of the border. Now, health experts say this outbreak requires a global response.
This is a severe and potentially devastating outbreak, and until the outbreak is over in Africa, it will not be all clear everywhere.
The Bundibugyo strain has only been seen 3 other times, and there is currently no drug treatment or vaccine, but that is being worked on.
We've reached out across our networks. We understand there are a number of Bundibugyo vaccines that are in early preclinical development. They would need to be accelerated, and we're considering how to do that if the decision to proceed is made.
The head of the WHO, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, says while there is no current vaccine or drug treatment, protective equipment, stringent disinfecting procedures, and quality information about the virus can help keep people safe and limit the spread. Ebola is transmitted through direct exposure of blood or bodily fluids of an infected person. Health officials say that means the risk to the general public is low. Crystal Gumansing, CBC News, London.
Less than a week after he was named new general manager of the Vancouver Canucks, Ryan Johnson has made his first executive call, and it is a massive one. The team has fired head coach Adam Foote.
Speaking with him this morning, I just felt from the organization, the alignment and what we were looking for, that just wanted a new voice and a new group to come in and start this next era of the franchise, and was less about what they did or didn't do. I appreciate them as coaches and people, but this, again, like I said, is about moving forward in the future.
Foote spent just 1 season as the team's head coach, but was hired in 2023 as an assistant to then head coach Rick Tocchet. The Canucks finished last in the NHL this past season. The team also announced 3 assistant coaches have also been fired. As Mexico City gets ready to welcome visitors for the FIFA Men's World Cup, some residents say they're being pushed out of their apartments and neighborhoods. They argue landlords are converting their units into short-term rentals for tourists. The CBC's Jorge Barrera has that story.
Frustrations flaring in Mexico City over spreading gentrification driving locals out from some of the most prized neighborhoods as landlords chased a bigger, quicker buck from short-term rentals with the expected influx of tourists as the FIFA World Cup looms.
I got in depression the last year because, well, it was very difficult for me to understand that I was living gentrification.
LM fears she could get booted at any time from her apartment after her landlord refused to renew her year-long contract. The building's owner is raising rents and turning spacious apartments into multiple units for the short-term rental market.
One problem in Mexico City is that a lot of people face this phenomenon. It is very common.
CBC agreed to identify LM by her initials. She fears blacklisting if her name is connected to the ongoing controversy at her building complex in Mexico City's Tacubaya neighborhood, which is a new front line in the gentrification battle.
We discover in a way that every 48 hours, 3 apartments are taking off from the traditional market.
Emanuele's organization has recorded 82 forced evictions between 2015 and 2025 in a district home to nearly half of the 27,000 Mexico City units offered on Airbnb. While she says there is no official data on the coming World Cup's impact, complaints are rising from people who say they've been forced out by landlords eyeing tourist demand for the FIFA tournament, which begins June 11th.
We are all in the same boat of being vulnerable to
CBC agreed to hide this tenant's identity, who fears reprisal for speaking out. He says the landlord is also forcing people out from this Tacubaya building by making living here difficult. This is an example of what tenants here call a silent eviction. This renovation started in November 2024. It's still not finished. You're forced to live with this. The building's owner, Miran Pesado, declined comment. The city recently passed laws to limit rent increases and the time units can be put up for short-term rentals. But experts say no one enforces those rules. Jorge Barrera, CBC News, Mexico City.
Now, with the Men's World Cup right around the corner, you may be still trying to get tickets to a match, and it may now cost you less. Ticketdata.com, a website devoted to tracking ticket prices, says World Cup tickets have seen a steady dip in costs. Keith Pagello is the founder of Ticketdata.com. He joins us now. Keith, first of all, what can you tell us about the trend of World Cup ticket prices, specifically for games in Vancouver?
Thanks for having me. So overall prices for all of the group stage matches as a whole, across all the 3 host nations, are down about 25% over the past month. So, a substantial decline there. The 5 group stage matches in Vancouver are down a little less than that. They're down about 16% or so, which is also roughly the percentage that Canada's 3 group stage matches are down, also around 15-16%.
I mean, that is a substantial drop. Specifically, if we look at the game between Australia and Turkey set for BC Place, prices have dropped by more than $600 since they were initially released. Where do you see that trend line going? I mean, that's a substantial drop.
It's a substantial drop, but what I kind of like to tell people is the prices for a long time were absolutely sky high, and they're kind of just coming back down to reality, if you will. I think that some of those really high price points, there was never going to be enough fans that were going to purchase at those price points to sustain those prices, and that's kind of honestly what FIFA was trying to do. FIFA is trying to optimize for revenue here, and they sold tickets for high prices when they could, and now they're trying to move the rest of the inventory, and prices do need to come down to fill those stadiums.
This isn't the case just here in Vancouver. Your website also says prices are dropping in almost every other city. Are there any other major standouts for you?
I wouldn't say that there's any major standouts in terms of a couple of cities, say like New York and Miami, have done a better job at holding their price points than some other cities. Let's say San Francisco has come down a lot, but overall we are kind of seeing this widespread drop across all nations, all cities. That being said, in the past week or so, prices have definitely started to stabilize. So I think we're really getting into crunch time in these final weeks before the tournament. I think people are really starting to get antsy and maybe don't feel like waiting any longer. And that is, adding some support to the current price points. So the drop has stalled for the past week or so.
It's very interesting stuff. Keith Pagello joining us from Ticketdata.com. We appreciate your time and your analysis. Thanks very much.
Thanks for having me.
BC Ferries is in the midst of a multi-million-dollar refit of one of its ships. We're going to go behind the scenes with your taxpayer dollars at work on the water. Stick around. The BC ferry that travels the waters between Prince Rupert and Prince Hardy and northern Vancouver Island is undergoing a multi-million-dollar refit. This comes ahead of the busy summer travel season. The CBC's Liam Britton stopped by the shipyard to find out what it takes to keep that boat running.
So this is the engine room we're in?
Yes. So for our refit, we basically started at the top and worked the way through the whole ship. From the bridge, all the navigation equipment, down to the galley, all the catering equipment, down to the engine room and all the engine equipment.
So this is another engine unit? This one's assembled?
Yes, we have two engines. This one's mostly assembled. We have the turbocharger on the front that's still being replaced. So the overall project, we start with a 156-page document, which is our specification, and within that there's about 360 individual jobs So those tasks would then be given to different trades groups, and generally, vast majority of the work is all in-house.
What is it about some of these breakdowns that can take so long to get them kind of back ship shape again?
Just the age of the vessels is the biggest concern, right? And just trying to keep them running. But I mean, it's a real team effort within BC Ferries. I mean, we have a very dedicated engineering crew that takes their job, very seriously. And when incidents like that happen, it's they really take it to heart. They sometimes feel like let down. They've let somebody down. We understand the traveling public needs to get from A to B for any variety of reasons, and that's our job to get them there.
What has changed in terms of like the vessels, especially not just the nature of the vessels, but the condition of them?
It's a lot of work. I mean, we definitely see it more so on the piping and the steel side and the painting. The equipment is also obviously older. It's kind of like, you're servicing a car that's built in the 70s versus a new one now, right? Whereas everything now is much more computerized, the maintenance work.
So just how are you feeling going into this summer?
Overall, I think we're feeling quite positive. Last summer we had an excellent season. And with that really proactive approach, we did not have any vessel breakdowns. And I think, we're looking at our planning now, and we're looking at the capacity of trades that we have available through the summer. We're comfortable that we can meet any of those needs.
Our science and climate specialist Darius Madavi here with the BC-wide weather forecast. But we need to start in and around Greater Toronto. My
That's
goodness,
right.
Something we don't see often here in British Columbia, a tornado warning.
That's right, and pretty early for Ontario as well. The main tornado season really just runs through June through August. Could pop up any time of year, but it's been an active couple of weeks as these thunderstorms moved through. Temperatures well above normal, and then this cold front moving across, generating a lot of lightning activity earlier today. This is from around 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern time. So we've watched that storm system move across. A lot of lightning activity over there. That is where those thunderstorms, those tornadoes likely popped up. Environment Canada says at least a couple likely touched down all around the London area. And then things continued to calm down as they moved further and further east. Here's a few images from that. A little bit of a funnel cloud, not quite a funnel cloud popping up there. This photo is from London Hydro. A number, many people actually reporting being without power. These winds, even outside of the tornado, just with those thunderstorms moving through, winds reported upwards of 120, 130 kilometers per hour, as well as some large hail and rain. So a lot of damage being reported in Ontario. Fortunately, because temperatures are going to be dropping pretty dramatically into tomorrow, this is today versus tomorrow, unlikely to see those thunderstorms return in the next few days. So a little bit of good news there, but definitely a very active storm system and a lot of damage being done there. Now, let's turn to BC, where temperatures are having the opposite trend. They're climbing, but only a couple degrees, no dramatic increase. Things are going to be a little bit warmer than normal across much of BC, including the south and up in the northeast over the next couple days. Not hot, just a little bit warm. Temperatures up in the mid-20s or so in the southern interior, maybe up around the 20-degree mark on the coast. Inland areas, maybe a couple degrees above that. Very little precipitation, though. Those thunderstorms we've seen popping up in BC, much less severe than the ones in Ontario. Mostly confined to the far eastern corner of the province tomorrow, and a little bit of precipitation that's going to creep into the northwest, maybe come down to the north coast. No longer expected to affect places like northern Vancouver Island or really even the central coast when that system comes in on Thursday. Fire danger across the province remains high in the Peace region, up through the central coast, down through parts of the southern interior, as well as the east coast of Vancouver Island. Other places, suppressed fire danger, so a bit of good news there. Tomorrow, generally pretty sunny conditions, which will remain the case into the weekend, and then a bit of a pattern shift likely arrives by Sunday.
Okay, Darius, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Back to Canada's aerial ambassadors now, the snowbirds. They've entertained people for decades at home and abroad. But the snowbirds' planes are now just too old, and new planes haven't been built yet. Lindsay Duncombe explains why some ardent fans worry that even if the show eventually returns, it might not be the same.
There's fear and frustration for supporters of Canada's snowbirds.
It's terrible. This is a failure in leadership, full stop. It's very frustrating.
Mark Miller is an aviation journalist and filmmaker.
I think our big fear is they say they have a replacement airplane. It's coming somewhere in the next 5 years. The question is, will there be some other priority that will come up? Will they find a reason not to do it? You know, we just really hope this isn't the end of the snowbird. It's a really important part of our country and our culture.
Stage center. With an engine screaming inches from your head and a boss chanting commands in your helmet. Smoke off now.
Miller made this 2002 documentary about the team. He wishes the military had new planes in place before it grounded the old ones.
Why there wasn't more planning in place to make sure there was overlap.
Canada's snowbirds have been entertaining crowds since 1971. The team performs between 40 and 60 shows a year at big events and tiny air shows. Miller remembers seeing the show when he was 8 in Edmonton.
I remember the sound and I remember the red. I remember the red suits. And I remember saying to my dad, I said, that's kind of what I would like to do. I never made it, but I certainly dreamed of it.
The shows are a recruitment tool for the military, something Miller captured in his film.
When I was 9 years old, I went to see the Canadian National Exhibition and I saw the snowbirds. 25 years later, I finally made it. Took me a while, but I got here.
Why would you get rid of your marketing department?
What we need is good personnel. And I'm not just talking about numbers, I'm talking about quality. And the snowbirds on a new aircraft, especially in the future on a new jet aircraft, boy, that's the best advertisement you can have for the Canadian Forces.
Dan Dempsey is a former snowbird commander. He's worried about what a 5-year hiatus will mean for recruiting. But that's not all snowbird alumni don't like about today's announcement.
As a national flag carrier, we just don't think it's the right airplane.
The Defense Department chose a Swiss-made turboprop plane to replace the current Tudor jets. The new planes can't do as many tricks.
There's the power of the aircraft to start with. The vertical maneuvering would be a little bit more challenging. You can't do some of the higher zooms.
And even when the new planes are here, teams will have to be trained from scratch.
Because the team will have been sitting on the ground for several years, people can't expect that the show is going to be the same in the near term. It's going to take a long time to work up back to it.
So Dempsey encourages Canadians to go out and see the snowbirds this summer while they still can.
You don't have to travel to Vatican City to see one of the world's greatest artworks, the Sistine Chapel, very up close. Next.
Hi, I'm Amy Bell, and this is your CBC Inbox.
Join me, Stephen Quinn, and the Early Edition team on May 28th at the Minaroo Center for a special live on-location broadcast. Come meet our new local Richmond journalists, Pinky Wong and Stephen Chua. And on May 31st, CBC's Margaret Gallagher hosts the Explore Asian Closing Award Ceremony. Join us to celebrate outstanding Asian community artists. Tickets at exploreasian.ca.
Londoners now have a way to see the breathtaking Sistine Chapel without crossing the English Channel. This is an immersive exhibition showcasing Michelangelo's famous frescoes that adorn the Sistine Chapel in the Vatican. It's an up-close perspective not even seen by the Holy See. One would need to climb up to the 20-meter-high ceiling to notice those original brushstrokes made by the artists. The displays include the creation of Adam with that little reach, and of course, the Last Judgment. The Sistine Chapel exhibition is expected to come to Canada in the near future. Thanks for being with us tonight on CBC Vancouver News at 6. You can watch this show on CBC GM, our free app, as well as on YouTube, and of course, our website, cbc.ca/BC. We'll have your next local news at 11 o'clock, right after the National. Good night.